What would it really take to raise a zombie from Minecraft in the real world? No mods, no rule breaking, only survival and consequences. Today we will try the impossible, from one strange egg to the most dangerous pet you could possibly imagine, a creature that could go out of control at any moment. Everything started when I was walking through an abandoned hospital. The corridors were dark. I walked through the gloomy, frightening hallways, lighting the way with a flashlight. Then I entered one of the rooms. There was a zombie egg lying there. I carefully picked it up and slowly began examining it. I took my suitcase and placed the strange egg inside. Then I started walking toward the exit. The lights began to flicker. I placed the suitcase on the front seat of my car. I got into the car and quickly drove home. It was already night. I parked near my house and realized that I was finally safe. Inside the apartment, I placed the case on the table and decided to open it. When I opened the case, the egg was moving. It was radioactive. I took it out and realized that it was still alive. I placed it on a poof, and it instantly became active. It began glowing brighter and brighter, and then the egg cracked, and a zombie hatched from it. The zombie was very small, and at the same time, very cute. I decided to pet him. First, I tried to feed him. I gave him an apple.
Ew, no.
And then I gave him a piece of cheese. Then I gave him a cookie, but he only sniffed them and refused to eat. It seemed he didn't like them. Then I opened the refrigerator and found a large piece of steak. And in that same moment, I decided to cook the steak for the zombie. The food looked very delicious. The smell of it spread throughout the entire house. I cut off a piece of steak and gave it to the baby zombie. But then his instincts guided him. He began eating it greedily. He was very happy. I decided to name him Zed. After a small meal, the zombie began exploring the house. His legs were too short, but he kept tripping and falling. He fell and fell again. But each time he stood up again, everything around him was interesting. But one morning when I wasn't home, the little zombie started his mission. He went into the bedroom and climbed onto the couch. He started jumping on the couch. He was playing, but then he started biting the pillows. Feathers flew all over the house. When I came home, I was horrified. I immediately decided to talk to him about his behavior. But inside he understood what he had done. And so that it would become a lesson, I decided to put him in the corner. After that, I decided to show him the yard. We went outside. We decided to look around. And a whole world around us. But then the sun appeared from the clouds. Sunlight fell onto the zombie, and the zombie started smoking. A second later, he caught fire. He was in panic. He didn't know what to do. His skin began burning. He turned around and started running. In desperation, he saw the swimming pool, and with the last bit of strength, he jumped into the water. The water covered him completely, and only then did the fire stop. As protection, I decided to give him an umbrella. He held it over his head and slowly walked around the yard. Then he decided to take a walk. Then he entered a store. The door creaked as he walked in, and in that same moment, chaos began. Throwing things everywhere. People ran away in panic, not recognizing anyone around him. He lunged toward people, shouting loudly, wildly. Someone called the police. They reported that a zombie was inside the store. A few minutes later, sirens were heard. The police carefully entered the store. After a short search, they found him. He stood in the middle of the store. In his eyes, there was wild rage. Finally, the police managed to stop him. They tied him up and carefully led him out of the store. The zombie was placed in the police car. He sat in the back seat. Now he was in prison. Huge bars around him. He lowered his head. It seemed sadness had taken over him. A police officer called me. I started scolding him. Then I took him and we went home. But that night he woke up. He quietly stood up and walked toward the door. He began breaking the door. First the first one. Wood cracked. Metal groaned. Then the second. He escaped outside and walked down the road. But around him something strange was happening. Skeletons were walking along the street. The skeletons stood around him, waving their arms. Then all of them walked toward a portal. Together they stepped inside and disappeared. They emerged on the other side. Heat was immediately felt, the smell of sulfur. They walked through hell. In the center of a massive hall among fire and lava sat the zombie boss. They approached him. Every step echoed loudly. The boss pulled back his bow and stared at the zombie threateningly. But suddenly a portal appeared. From it stepped an Enderman. Tall, dark, with eyes glowing in the darkness. He slowly walked toward them. The battle began. The skeletons immediately started shooting arrows. The zombie dodged them. He jumped, avoided their attacks. Meanwhile, the Enderman and the boss began fighting as well. They struck each other, blocking attacks. The Enderman gathered all his strength and delivered a powerful strike. It was over. The Enderman and the zombie had won. The Enderman turned and walked back to the portal. The zombie looked at him and then walked toward the portal too. A moment later, he appeared in our backyard. Then, he walked home, entered the door, and looked around. He walked to the refrigerator and opened it. Inside there was a sandwich. He picked it up, brought it to his mouth, and took a bite. Then we just sat there and talked.
Did you see that move? Yeah, that was impressive.